Good morning. It is lesson 13-2, converting customary units of capacity. It is going to be the same thing as yesterday, same exact steps, where you're converting one measurement to another measurement. You're going to multiply, you're going to use fractions, and you can set your fractions up by making sure that your labels cross each other out. Yesterday we were dealing with length. So this was the chart from yesterday. 12 inches equals 1 foot, 3 feet equals 1 yard, 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. What I didn't show you, and I should have, I like to think of this chart right here. It's the exact same information, just written in a different way. 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, 1,760 yards in a mile. Except that it shows you how many steps you would have to perform. So if I wanted to convert, say, a whole bunch of inches into yards, this chart helps me see, I got to jump once to get to feet, and then I got to turn the feet into yards. This is going to have two different steps. So that means you're going to be multiplying by two different fraction steps, and then you'll get your answer. I'll show you what I mean with today's lesson. So today, like I said, exact same idea, but now we're dealing with capacity. What I always think about with capacity is I always think about baking, where you have cups and pints and quarts and gallons and fluid ounces and all that stuff. So the chart for today, 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. If you look at the measuring cup in your kitchen, you will notice that it'll have like quarter cup, half cup, 3/4 cup on one side, and right across from it, it'll say 2 ounces, 4 ounces, 6 ounces, 8 ounces. And that's telling you the number of fluid ounces. So 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. 2 cups will equal 1 pint. 2 pints will equal 1 quart. 4 quarts will equal 1 gallon. What I like to do when we talk about this is just to have some idea of what the heck we're talking about. Cup, I think you're all familiar with, whether you're making your mac and cheese and you got to measure out the water or whatever. Everyone's pretty familiar with what 1 cup is. 1 pint, that would be the small container of like whipping cream that might be in your fridge, or maybe your parents have half and half to pour into their coffee in the morning. That's usually sold in the smaller 1 pint container. Quarts, that would be the tall, skinny quart of milk. And I'll try and draw these out to show you what I'm talking about. And then gallon, that's going to be the big plastic container of milk. So, oh dear, Mr. Stanowitz is doing art. Look out. So gallon, it is the one that kind of looks like this. And it's got the handle carved out of it right here, and it's big and heavy, and you always spill that first little bit. That's your good buddy, the gallon. The quart, it's the really tall, skinny one. That's going to be your quart. And then the pint looks just like it, except it's a lot shorter. Alrighty, I hope that kind of helps. Go look in your kitchen, just get familiar what size is what size, and I'll just kind of help you understand this just a little bit more. Okay, so what if we had to convert 32 cups all the way into gallons? Well, I like to look at this chart. This chart's going to tell me how many steps that's going to be. Here is my cups. Here is my gallons. How many jumps away is that? It's 1, 2, 3 jumps. So here's my problem: 32 cups into a gallon. So I'm going to take my number 32 cups that they gave me, make it a fraction. I'm going to multiply it by a fraction, and I'm turning cups into gallons. So cups to gallons, I got to turn it into pints. So there's 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. Oh, by the way, trying to memorize this, 8, I have no idea where they got it from. But if you look at the other ones, the 2 plus the 2 plus the 4 equals the 8 over here. That can kind of help you keep it straight. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre. The 8 ounces, I just kind of have memorized because when I cook, I always see the 8 ounces on the measuring cup. That's kind of how I memorize that one. The one that's easy to remember is quarts. If you think of quarters, there are 4 quarters in a gallon. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. Like I said, the system's dumb. They asked a whole bunch of random people on the street to make up numbers, and away they went. I don't know. It's bizarre. But you got to memorize it. Customary units of capacity. It's a pain in the butt. You just got to have it memorized. So 32 cups. There are 2 cups in a pint. Since my cups are up here, I want these cups to be down here. So 2 cups is 1 pint. There's my first step. Multiply again. I got to turn pints into quarts. There are 2 quarts in a pint. So I want my labels to cancel out. So a pint's on top. I'm going to put a pint down here on the bottom. 2 pints is 1 quart. And then finally quarts into a gallon. Since quarts are up top here, I want it to cancel out. There are 4 quarts in a gallon, so 4 quarts, 1 gallon. Now, it looks big, long, confusing, but it's really not that bad at all. So if you have it set up, cups cancel out, pints cancel out, quarts cancel out, and you're going to be left with the gallons. So I know I've set this up correctly. So let's just go ahead and cross out our labels: pints, pints, quarts, quarts. I know I'm ready to roll. Now, we can cross-cancel. When we cross-cancel with all of these multiple steps, just like when you cross-cancel, the number on the top left can cross-cancel with the number on the top right. What the rule really is any number on top can cross-cancel with any number on the bottom. So here I have 32 and 2. Okay, cool. I can divide both of those by 2. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, I got a 16 and a 2. I can divide both of those by 2. 16 divided by 2 is going to turn into an 8. 2 divided by 2, that also turns into a 1. Oh, I got an 8 over here and a 4 over here. I can cross cancel again. 8 divided by, I can divide both of them by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And now I have the easiest math problem in the world. 2 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 2 gallons. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. My answer is 2 gallons. Another example problem, if I had to turn 8 gallons into pints, not a problem. I'm going to take my 8 gallons that they gave us, make it a fraction. I got to turn it into pints. I'm going to look back at my chart here. Fluid ounces to cups, pints, quarts, gallons. Okay, I'm going gallons over here to pints. So how many jumps? 2 jumps. So 2 jumps tells me my problem's going to look like that. I'm going to have 2 jumps. Going from gallons to pints. My first jump, it's going to be 4. There are 4 quarts and 1 gallon. Okay, I got gallon up there, so I want gallon down below. 4 quarts, 1 gallon. All right. My second jump, I'm going quarts to pints. There's 2 pints and 1 quart. Since I have quarts there, I want quarts down here. 2 pints and 1 quart. So 2 pints and 1 quart. And that is how I set the problem up. When I look at my labels, gallons crosses out with gallons, quarts crosses out with quarts. And now I can cross cancel. I got nothing but 1s on the bottom, so there's no cross canceling on this problem. So go ahead and multiply straight across. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. And since I was doing times pints, my label is pints. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. My answer is 64 pints. That's all there is to it. The charts stink. You got to memorize the charts. I like the little jumping system here so you can see, how many jumps or how many steps you're going to have. And then you just go for it. That's all there is to it. For your homework, 13.2 PNR. Here are the answers to reteach. And here are your answers for the practice. All right, good luck.